Welcome back, everybody, to the Backstage Boys podcast, episode number 84, Basil.
It's 84.
84.
84.
84. We used to be at one time, we did number 48. We're at 84 now. Can you believe that? 84.
We were at 48, now we're at 84. There you go.
That's it. That's my tagline for today. That's the kitschy line for today. But this is Trent, my co-host,
Basil.
And we're here to talk with a very special guest today. You guys might, if you've been to a independent show in the Midwest, specifically Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Chicago, you've seen this guy. You've also, if you've talked to this man, you've basically encountered the nicest human being you've ever met in your entire life.
That's an understatement.
It really is.
He's really right above your head too right now.
He is. He's right there in the graphic here. He's just kind of hanging out watching me in the graphic. But he is truly one of the I call him a sweetheart. He's such a sweet person. Every time I have a moment with him, it's like I leave it a better person, Basil. I really do. And, so guys, we're gonna talk to Referee Dan Perch is here today with us. We're gonna bring him in just a second. We're gonna do a little intro, little formalities before we bring him in. But Basil, how you doing today? What's going on?
I'm good, dude. We got I got a fun week coming up. I mean, it's been life has been, because we really haven't had too much of a chance to talk. But I mean, ever since this whole gig at this small indie in Jacksonville that I picked up, it's been
a little small indie you work for in Jacksonville.
I say that all the time. Even when I'm down there, I'm like, dude, I can't wait to work this indie show.
Everyone's
like, indie show. I was like, yeah, dude.
Are they doing okay with their public access?
You know what?
TNT?
I think we're on syndication. On Saturday nights. I have to go on my little box TV, the one with the built-in VCR, and then if I shake it a few times, I can get a solid picture.
Well, keep grinding, kid. You guys might make it one of these days. You guys will get there someday.
No, but for real, because I haven't really we haven't really talked too much about that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's officially with the AE Dubs. It's been a great month so far. I'm not, for everyone, because people are going to notice, I'm not going to be at the show on Wednesday, but I will be there for Revolution in the following week. It's just everything happens so fast, and they've been really good with accommodating with my shoot job still, because I'm keeping that. That's great. Because I mean, obviously I could I am going to be making a solid living over there. It's just it's right now with the pandemic, I mean, there's nothing going on in between, so it's like kind of want to keep that still. So no,
you definitely, right now things are, you got to keep them, status quo for a little bit.
And you know me, if I stay doing nothing for 10 days, you know how bored we got during quarantine.
And that's
when I was off work for 2 months.
We took up painting, both of us.
We literally would FaceTime and paint until like 1 or 2 in the morning every single day. Yeah.
I got a great collection. I'm gonna get back to it. I have a great collection.
We keep saying, we've been saying that for like 6 months now.
When we get to lockdown 2, Electric Boogaloo, we'll do it.
I don't want to get to lockdown 2.
I don't either. But
nothing beats OG quarantine vibes, man. Like those first like 3 months, it's just a vibe that was so calm and peaceful.
That's true. It's different. It was, looking back, it was a very interesting time. Well, let's bring Perch. I think it's time we bring him in. I think he's ready. I can see him. He knows I'm watching him, and he's ready, and he's gearing himself up.
Really quick, the chat was asking what we were painting. So Mark was asking. So Trent was doing. So explain what you were doing, really quick.
I was doing acrylic pour paintings, which I did post on my Twitter, actually, which is right here on the screen. If you go back far enough, I was doing acrylic pour. I got really into it, and they came out really nice. I was actually really into them. And I got some good stuff. They're sitting in the closet, but I will. I have my paint left. I'm gonna get back to it for sure. It's something I really do like, and I want to get back to. But it just had a very original OG lockdown vibe to it. So yeah, maybe I'll do a summertime series or something.
I was nerding it out, painting my. I got back into Warhammer 40K, which is already back in all the box because I haven't done anything in 6 months. But no, we were doing that, and it was fun, man. Like,
we had fun, man. No question about it.
We went hard into because that's like shipping was being delayed at a bunch of places, and there was low stock of like everything. and we were just like, we were going hard on finding like paint supplies.
Yeah.
And we were trying to find deals and stuff. I mean, you have two brown men who get into a hobby, and we're just like, yeah, deals.
Look for deals.
We were
and
always
value.
looking for deals. We're like, yeah, Dick Blick and Michaels and all this stuff. And dude, it was a cool thing that we got to do.
Yep.
That I feel like. I mean, because I was doing video games and stuff like that, but like, you were working from home still during this time.
I'm still working from home now.
You're still working from, but I mean, we were literally not leaving our houses for weeks at a time.
Yeah, it was
like,
different, man.
It was like, hey, dude, I'm gonna go to the grocery store for the first time today. Like,
yeah, it was a weird time. Looking back at it, what a strange time to be around. Like, what a weird period that was. And it was a year ago, not even. So we'll remember it fondly. But let's bring in Perch. Let's bring in Perch in. He's waiting patiently for 6 minutes and 32 seconds. Let's bring him. All right, guys. He is referee extraordinaire. Like I said at the top of the show, he is one of the nicest people I've ever met. And if you ever do meet him, please, you will. I swear to you, you'll leave the conversation a better person.
He's a great person.
He truly is. All right, let's bring him. Dan Perch, come on in here. There he is.
Yo,
Perch, what's going on, man? Look at this $1 million smile he's got.
He's already so happy.
Such a nice guy.
What's up, guys?
What's up, man? Good to have you on. I appreciate you joining us tonight.
Oh, absolutely. You guys are too kind. But it is my pleasure to see you both in this setting. It feels like it's been way too long.
I have not seen you in November.
We're all so used to seeing each other, like, at least on a bi-weekly basis.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
At least
and working.
Yeah, just working regularly, seeing each other, catching up. But no, Perch, it's good to see you, man. What have you been up to? What's keeping you busy these days?
Yeah, guys. So, like you were saying, this year proposed a few different hobbies for everybody.
Yeah. What are you into? What did you get into now?
Well, you guys were saying you got into some painting, so I imagine you had to dig deep for that. Was that a previous love that you had, or something brand new?
Wait, Perch, we're interviewing you here. This is your moment here. This is your moment on the show.
Hey, this is how nice Perch is. Let Perch be nice for a minute, and then we can roast him for the next 45.
No, I want to know what Perch got into over the quarantine.
Really quick. What did you get into though?
Yeah.
So I feel like actively I kind of hit a wall. I didn't know what to do. Couldn't go out to the gym. I couldn't go out and shoot hoops. I literally bought a soccer ball and a skateboard, and I skated around the back patio and kicked a soccer ball around the yard.
So you were active.
Tony Hawking now?
Fuck that shit.
So you're like Tony Hawk now, man. You're doing like those like flip kicks and all that kind of stuff, like all those tricks now. Can you do all that stuff? Are you good at those tricks?
As far as it goes, for skaters to get noticed, there has to be a camera guy behind them. I skate more like the camera guy behind them, just smooth and steady. And
fair enough.
If he falls.
Fair enough. Real quick shout out. Speaking of the painting, shout out to Matt Spain here, who did dig deep into my Twitter account and found a link of my painting.
Yeah, thank you, Matt. Yeah, see, I deleted that life.
Did you?
Well, no, because I auto delete my tweets because I like to talk a lot of shit on Twitter. Everyone knows this. I say a lot of shit, so I'm just like, let's just let it delete itself. So none of that shit, dude. You've seen how these people on Twitter can be. Like, if you fuck up, and they will go. It is easy. It is so, like, you think it's hard to find stuff from like 8 years ago. It's not. All you got to do is type in someone's username, like their handle, and then you type in any keyword, and all the tweets will pop up with that. So that's how like people with like these racist tweets and all that stuff like find all this stuff, because it's so like people think that it's hard. It's really not.
That's like I'd be like Perch. You don't say crap like that online.
I'm not as good hearted as Perch is.
Perch, where does this niceness come from? I mean, I'm gonna say you're raised right, but you really are.
I'm gonna say you're raised right, but really, what is it?
No, but like you're like the sweetest guy in the world. I've never. Okay, I used to tell Nate, I'm like, Nate, you're a sweetheart, Nate. But I said, Nate, you cannot be the nicest guy in the world because I've seen you get mad, and when Nate gets mad, he gets mad.
And
I've never seen get
we've
mad.
also have hung around Nate enough where we've poisoned his mind just enough, because he spent car rides. I mean, Nate has been in the car with us
turned him better
for hours and trips and wrestling events. And he understands enough of the shitty side of the business to be mad.
Yeah.
And I feel like I never want you to leave the indies because you're so pure.
Yeah. No, I mean, I do want him to succeed, Basil. I don't want him to leave the...
I know that, but the thing is, like, he's gonna be, dude, I don't want him to, he's gonna turn into Eddie Kingston. Like, it's gonna go from Perch to hard times, player.
Perch, let's not let that happen. Let's stay a nice guy.
Well, that's the true emotion.
Right here.
Oh my God.
I'm from New York, partner.
I can't imagine him turning heel on us. But Perch, let's get some backstory, man. I want to hear the story. You're kind of a mystery in a sense, and I never knew your background. I mean, and I want to set this up with something though. Milwaukee wrestling has a rich history. But it's like never, and even today, a lot of indies going on. You work a ton of them, but they don't get talked about as much as it's bumped up against Chicago. So you don't get that you kind of get shadowed. But Milwaukee's a rich history, wrestling town, man. I want to hear your story. How did you start in all this? How did Perch get into wrestling? Who inspired him? All that stuff. Let's start right at the beginning. I want to hear the story here.
Oh, absolutely love it. Absolutely love it, Trent. Yeah, like you said, Milwaukee has got a lot of rich history, and the whole state of Wisconsin being a bigger part of the entire Midwest wrestling scene. Yeah, and I never really realized that it isn't as talked about outside of Milwaukee or outside of Wisconsin. To me, wrestling was just wrestling. We grew up with guys like the Crusher and the Buster and like my parents telling me stories of all the AWA guys and the Baron, just everybody at the time, and wrestling was just wrestling to them. It wasn't, necessarily the territories, but they weren't privy to knowing there were 20 different territories or 50 different territories. Wrestling was just wrestling. Yeah. And you certainly love the hometown guys. And I grew up right in the heart of Crusher country.
That's the place. I got a Crusher figurine from the Admirals game. Did you go to that, Perch? Did you the wrestlers there, like Ricky Steamboat and Lisa Marie Varon and Animal was there and everything. They had all these wrestlers do free. Bradley, I don't know if I told you about this. All these wrestlers do free autographs. Everybody's there giving out free autographs, and they're giving out a Crusher figurine at the Admirals game in Milwaukee. But I don't know. Would you get that? Did you go to that?
No, I missed that one. A
couple years ago, maybe about 5 years ago or so. It was great. But anyway, go on. Okay. Yeah, it was fun. So your parents watched it. Your parents were watching wrestling growing up. Like, what, you guys are all watching together as a family and stuff.
Yeah, so they grew up. I think it was both my parents' grandparents who watched it. Since the invention of TV and well before it. And my mom and dad both grew up being aware of it. They weren't diehard fans by any means. But growing up for myself in the 90s, by the time WCW was around, names like Hulk Hogan and Roddy Piper and Macho Man. All those guys were people that my parents knew, and they were, oh, Hulk Hogan's on TV. Oh, that's Roddy Piper.
Yeah. Cool.
So I was immediately infatuated with the fact that, hey, my parents know who these guys are, and they're kind of action stars,
basically.
Yes, and TNT, and then flipping over it and discovering what WWF was at the time and the wild characters there.
Nice.
I was able to find kind of a bond with parents, and certainly I loved it, and I grew a passion of my own for pro wrestling, which far outweighed my parents when they were kids. But we were always able to joke around with it and razz each other a little bit with certain guys that we liked.
So how does it go from that, right, to referee now? Because were you always attracted to like the refs or like the production side or like kind of the third man in the ring, or everybody, like, did you ever want to be a wrestler? I guess, does every kid want to be a wrestler growing up at some point? Then you realized like, okay, I'm not cut out for wrestling. But
I think all three of us had that dream, and then we all grew up, and then we're just like, our bodies are not formed for that.
Genetically, I cannot do this.
That looks like it hurts. I don't like being hurt.
Not on purpose.
Oh yeah, it's really a mixture of life coming at you and hitting you in the face. As a kid, yeah, like you said, I grew up with friends. We'd always play wrestling at school, and whether it was at the jungle gym, or we would make wrestling videos in my friend's attic, and we would have mattresses and set up full announcing tables, and he was always Jeff Hardy, I was Matt Hardy, doing swanton bombs off the heat register.
Right. It's like
we all had our backyard wrestling phase. I think every real wrestling fan has had a backyard wrestling phase, no matter who they were. Did you not have one, Trent?
Oh, you can do it. I used to literally in the backyard with my friends, because we would get out of school early. Every Wednesday was a short day at Chicago high schools, and every Wednesday we would go and backyard wrestle half day. Oh, it was nuts. Just, I'm talking like we got to the point of like ladders and sandbags and weapons and chairs and rakes. I mean, we were ECW marks,
dude,
right?
Man, if you grew up in the 90s, or you had school early 90s, late 90s, early 2000s, man, you cannot tell me you were not influenced by ECW, man. That was like, you're like, yeah, chairs, let's hit each other in the head.
Yeah.
None of us knew what CTE was. We all found out about it afterwards, and we're like, shit.
What CTE? So Perch, is that like, what is, I mean, so you obviously did the backyard thing, but did you kind of start getting into, like, did you go to ref school? Did you go to school to be a ref, or did you go for wrestling, or what was the initial plan after kind of fandom?
Yeah, so I hit a point in my life right around 26, 27 years old, where I realized I want to start, going after things that I loved when I was a kid. At kind of crossroads, and realizing what do I want to pursue in my life, and what dreams or what passions do I want to take advantage of and try and fulfill. I still can. And a single man, no kids, no wife.
Nothing binding you down. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, so I decided to find what I really loved when I was younger, and what instilled passion in me and in my life, and I decided seriously that I wanted to pursue something inside the world of professional wrestling, and it was a decision that took me 20 plus years to finally pull the trigger on, but once I decided it, I made sure I did the right research, and made sure I got in and felt comfortable with my own reasoning. Understanding everybody gets into the business for their own reasons. We all come from different walks of life. The fact that I'm here talking with the both of you guys is is a blessing, for the sake of we all have different backgrounds and different passion, for the business. But that's the one thing we share, is the love for the business, and whatever avenue we can find to fulfill our passion. And that's what I wanted to do. So I decided I want to learn everything I can about the professional wrestling business, from the guys who set up the ring to tearing down the ring. Little did I know that that was everybody.
I mean, but that's why we made this platform. Is it's so easy to just, let's talk to wrestlers and about wrestling and blah blah blah. But it's like, there's so much that goes into the back end into making a show that gives them that stage. So it's like, it's great, because it's like we have 3 different versions of the business right here.
That's so true.
There's one common thing, and that's just loving wrestling. And I don't think you can do this business without actually loving it. And it makes a huge difference in your work, and it shows, and it elevates your progression if you're in it for the right reasons. And you're one of those people that I truly believe that you're in it for the right reasons, that you do love it. And You're always helpful. I mean, you've helped me out a bunch of times, even just setting up my background, like, and stuff like that, especially at Warrior, because I do my full, like, 100%, like what I used to do at Impact, like type promo setup, because I have the space there. And Perch is always there helping me out, and doesn't matter how early or how late that we're there. He's always helping out, so it's always appreciative. And he's one of the refs that I don't complain about in the ring. He doesn't block the shots. Like, no, he's very conscious, and that's a hard thing to do, is to manage not only the what's in the ring, but your surroundings with cameras and stuff like that. It makes a huge difference, trust me. And even at your level, to take those habits and have those go forward, huge. Trust me. It does make a difference.
Perch is very athletic in there. I've seen that. I've seen him like zip around. Like, Perch, you got you got to have some kind of athletic background, because I've seen you literally like scale ropes to get out of people's way, but like land. Like he did this move one time where he kind of like Spider-Man like the ropes and then landed into the 1 count. It was like the craziest. I'm like, what the hell did he just do? But like, perfect time, got out of the way, scaled these ropes, went right into the count. I was like, holy shit, that was fantastic. I mean, is there an athletic background here that I'm missing, Perch? Because like, that was one of the most athletic things I've seen a referee do, and it was crazy. I swear to God, I was like, what the fuck did he just do? That was nuts. Didn't he miss a step? Beautiful. Never in Basil's way, never in Hard Cam's way. Just art, Perch.
No, there certainly is a lot of athletic background.
Did you play sports? Like, were you an athlete growing up?
But I always did play sports growing up. Never a great one. I was actually a rather larger kid growing up, and I was a lineman in football and a catcher in baseball. And when we were running laps, I was always one of the last few.
No shit! Wow, I would never guess. He's such a slender dude. Like, I would never guess that. Yeah. Wow.
Yo,
but I've been about this size for 15 years now. But growing up, it was coming into my own. But
wow,
when it comes to in the ring, there's certainly a different mentality that comes to it, and especially to be playing, a referee and having the responsibilities that come along with it.
Yeah,
I have to make sure that I'm on top of my guard at all times and vigilant. And head on a swivel.
It's because, so true, man.
Size-wise, it's not easy, or it's not hard to tell. I'm not quite the same size as most of these guys.
Dude, I'm telling you, man. It's pretty interesting to watch you in there. I was like, this dude is everywhere. But it's great. So let me rewind a second. So where did you go to wrestling school? Who did you seek out? I mean, now Milwaukee, but before we actually get back into that, Milwaukee's got a very, I don't want to say strange indie wrestling scene, but it's like one that like you don't hear about it much across the country. But the people in Wisconsin are like crazy about it. It's full shows. Any Friday, Saturday night, there's an indie show going on in your local town at your VFW or whatever, and it's packed to the gills. I mean, normal times, even now, even with the distancing, like people go, and like you can see some of the greatest shit in Milwaukee, and like all these like underground stars, and then you start seeing them in Chicago. You're like, oh, where did this guy come from? It's like, dude, he's been in Milwaukee for 5 years already, things like that. But the indies, tell us about the indie scene a little bit. I mean, name some of the promotions, like get the names out there. I want to hear some of these names get out there a little bit.
Yeah, so you say that there's been buzz around here. There certainly is, and going throughout the '90s into the 2000s, there was a promoter named Carmine Despirito.
Yeah, Carmine, that's right.
And running Mid-American Wrestling right there in West Allis, Wisconsin. And he really
brought home of the state fair, West Allis. I went to the state fair the year before. Basil, have you ever been to the Wisconsin State Fair?
Yeah, dude.
Oh my God.
I used to visit. I used to be in Wisconsin a bunch growing up, especially around Madison, and then Milwaukee a lot more recently and stuff like that. I don't know when the next time I'm going to Milwaukee, because I have a parking ticket that I haven't paid yet from that ZELO show.
They'll get that for you.
I don't know. It's $80, man. I don't feel like going back to Milwaukee. I'll pay that eventually.
Did you get it at Turner Hall or going for
I
a Ring of Honor
did.
show?
I
knew
no,
it. They'll
not
get
for
you.
Ring of Honor, but
Oh.
for ZELO.
Oh man,
I was like, damn it, that's
Turner
half my
Hall.
pay.
Perch,
I was so heated.
They'll get you downtown, huh?
Oh my god, they're brutal.
But no, so yeah, Carmine. So Carmine's very well known. I've heard he's been around for a long time. He did some AWA back in the day, I think, didn't he?
Yeah, and he certainly had lots of connections throughout
Mhm.
the AWA and all over the territories, East Coast as well. And he brought in a lot of big time people and made a lot of stars out of the local guys here too. But more than anything, he kind of, let built a bed of coals that are still burning today, between Mid American Wrestling going out to Brew City Wrestling, kind of taking over, and again in the West Allis area, taking over the Knights of Columbus right as as Mid American was coming to an end, as well as ICW Milwaukee, ran by Dysfunction. A couple of promotions that use the same spirit of Milwaukee and West Allis and the fans that travel and stay on. It's really turned Milwaukee into a hotbed. As long as I've been around, as long as I've been alive, there's been bowling alleys that are showing wrestling. There's bars that are showing wrestling.
So true, man.
I grew up in Oconomowoc, a small town, and there's a venue or a bar called Hog Alley. And there was a
What
guy.
a cool name.
Like
that.
Trevor Adonis used to run shows at Hog Alley, and that's a lot of lineage of good Wisconsin wrestling right there.
I'm telling you, man. Basil, that scene is so hidden from the rest of the country. And it's like packed. They like pack them in. People will just go to Wisconsin shows.
Dude, I've been seeing what's Hornswoggle's promotion? What's that one called?
Yeah, he's got a promotion called ACW, and that's up in Oshkosh. So
in
about
Oshkosh, that's where it's at. And that place is always packed.
I'm telling you, man, they draw.
We've got a show coming up this Friday at the Masonic Center. And that place is packed wall to wall, and they take precaution with everything the way it's going now. Pre-pandemic, that place had tons and tons of people, and now it's got as many as you can the right way. But yeah, ACW up in Oshkosh, they've got a good thing going up there too. And
so, Perch, did you say you're refereeing for 15 years now? Is that 15 years?
No, not me.
Sorry.
No, how long have you been roughing for?
So I've been reffing very, very little on the scale. Since the start of 2018 was my beginning.
That's it?
Oh, wow. So 3 years.
Are you kidding me? So when we saw you at AAW at Turner, that was your first year in. You were just 1 year into the business at that point? That's when I first met you, I think. Was that Turner Hall? Yeah.
Yeah, that was the AAW Destination Milwaukee show.
I might have met you before that, but man, you were only just like a year in at that point.
No, I think that's when I met. I think that's when I met Perch. Was at that show.
Yeah,
that might have been when I met you too. Yeah,
I think it was up in the balcony.
Yeah. You did the promo shots. You did a promo shot of Perch, which I think is the one you're using on the artwork.
No, this is that's a Warrior one.
Oh, okay.
That's the full rig.
I remember meeting Perch and literally turning to Nate, going, "That guy was so fucking nice." That guy was so.
Nate felt threatened.
He did.
You're like, what the fuck you mean he's nice?
What do you mean he's nice? I thought I was nice. I thought I was your referee friend. You have more than one referee friend?
You're like, there can't be two gimmicks of people being nice.
I told Perch,
how dare you?
When Nate left, I told Perch like the weekend after, I said, Perch, can I meet you at the Cracker Barrel on Sunday for a grits and a coffee? And I said, usually I do this with Nate on Sundays, but he left me. So can I meet you halfway at Cracker Barrel? Anything, anytime.
Are you located out of Milwaukee?
Yeah, so I'm located out of Milwaukee. I live just a little bit outside of the city. But yeah,
don't we all?
Right in Milwaukee is where I call hometown for the sake of.
Yeah,
nice.
I love Milwaukee, man. I grew like you, Basil. I as a kid, we would go there all the time, and it's so close to Chicago. Like you can go constantly back and forth. But
My favorite Milwaukee memory is like there was a Cubs game that actually happened there. Because there was like some hurricane or some tornado or something that happened in Texas, and the Sox were playing, so they couldn't move the game to Chicago. So Milwaukee was out of town. The Brewers were out of town. And they were just like, we can't sell this many tickets this fast. So they're like, free game in Milwaukee. So we all drove up to Milwaukee, and then that's when Zambrano had the no-no. It was Zambrano versus the Texans, and the Texans were the home team in Milwaukee against the Cubs. And Zambrano hit a no-no. So if you got to go to that game, you got to see Zambrano hit a no-no for free. It was wild.
No kidding.
Yeah,
Wow.
dude, that was like 15 years ago or something like that. 16 years ago.
Yeah, it was a long time. We still remember. Trust me, Zambrano was not the
Zambrano was not liked, but I remember there were Brewers fans because it was a free game, so they're like, whatever, let's just go too. Let's just pack the stadium.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
dude. And then when they were so like anybody from Milwaukee was trying to boo the Cubs as they were like Texans fans. It was great. But there was so many Cubs fans there because it was a 90-minute drive, and everyone did carpools and all that stuff together. It was great.
Nice.
It was good times.
So good. We never got to where you went to school. Now, Perch, all right, going back now.
Where'd you go to school? What's your social security number? What's the last? What's the security number on your credit card?
In your bank.
Niner.
Yeah. Where'd you end up getting trained then? What was the plan? With the training?
So doing my research and wanted to find out a spot where I can get my foot in the door. I went to a Brew City wrestling show at the Knights of Columbus, and then I saw that they had a school that trains right in Cudahy. Right in South Milwaukee, Crusher Country, again.
Now, was that Beer City Bruisers company, or is that just like the same name, Brew City or whatever?
Yeah, so Frankie DeFalco runs it, and Beer City Bruiser is the star on posters and everything.
Nice.
And actually, Beer City Bruiser is my main trainer at the school that I went to. And still currently do. So yeah, I decided to go to school to learn the business of pro wrestling. So I talked to Frank and Bruiser, and got into to their camp and train 3-4 days a week. But my mentality was I want to learn everything in the business. Again, absolutely everything from tearing, setting up the ring to tearing it down, and everything that goes into putting on a show. So that being said, I train and don't get treated any differently than any of the wrestlers.
That's great.
So, fully trained with everything inside the ring, which is why a little bit of that athletic background comes into play.
There it is. There's the secret right there.
And, at one with the ring, meditation and feeling all and at complete peace when inside that ring.
It's true, man.
To the schooling that I've been going to for quite some time, and getting in-ring experience 3-4 days a week since joining. I don't miss.
I don't blame you. My co-host from my Impact podcast, J-Bone, is in the chat. He's from Brookfield. He's a Wisconsin guy.
Oh, really?
He's in Brookfield, yeah. So he goes to a lot of the Dave Hero shows and things like that. So he's on the scene. So I'm sure he's
J-Bone's a good brother. J-Bone's a good brother.
Yeah, Jay, I'm sure you're loving the conversation.
Smash, buddy, smash.
But no, that's cool. I didn't know that. That's where you train. I'm still in shock. I did not realize you've only been in a few years, 3 years. This is your year 3 for you. That's nuts. I kept thinking you were in so much longer, but man, you've made your rounds in 3 years. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I started right in January of 18, and by April I was working shows, and from April of 18, I got in with a few people that are from around here. Sierra, who you guys know.
Yeah.
She worked at AEW, yeah.
Tyler Sullivan, Sean Priest, Aesop Mitchell, a few other guys from the area. I started hopping in the car with all those guys.
Smart.
And traveling all around, started with southeastern Wisconsin, and then it traveled to all of Wisconsin, Then we're starting to venture to Minnesota,
No kidding.
Illinois, all around kind of the Midwest then. And that was all within right away, right from that April on. I wanted to hit the road and get as much experience as I could in car rides and learning different promotions and meeting new people. So once I had the tools, I wanted to hit the ground running to learn as much on the job experience as I could.
Yeah. No, that's great, man. Name some of the promotions you work for. I mean, you said Minnesota too. That's awesome. I didn't know you went out to Minnesota as well, but Illinois wide, I know you've done.
One of my early trips out there, and I didn't work the show, but I took Stacy Shadows, who's one of my mentors in the area. Took her out to a show in Steel Domain, and I got to see what independent wrestling was like over there, and it was pretty cool. Again, that was my first year, so I got to see how different crowds in different states react. It was wild seeing independent wrestling for the first time ever in another state. I've also worked at RCCW is a promotion out in LaCrosse, Wisconsin. They also run in Minnesota, right in Winona, Minnesota. So that was just
Winona, Minnesota. Okay, cool. And then in the Chicago area, you've done AAW, Warrior. What else?
Yeah, so AAW and Warrior. One of the first companies I got my start with was ZOWA Wrestling. They're in kind of Western Illinois.
They're picking up a lot more. I mean, they started. They're putting on a lot more shows. Were you at that last one last weekend too?
No, unfortunately, I wasn't. But they've been a great help for me very early on with my startup. And first time where I kind of felt comfortable leaving the state. Got business in Illinois this week. It's
nice.
Kind of a cool feeling, a cool stepping stone to knowing that this business can take you other places.
Mm-hmm. That's cool, man. There's like a cusp of like these indies. Again, like I said, they don't get talked about as much as some of the other ones. But they're all doing shit, Basil. Like they're all doing something. They're all putting on shows. They got people coming out of them. They're training. They're consistent. I mean, that's all you can ask for out of India. Like stay consistent and keep people working and keep people getting better at their craft. And people like Perch can just jump in cars and go and work a bunch of shows.
Really quick, hey Perch, are you holding onto a water bottle right now? No, because there's something I'm hearing something.
There's something cracking. I don't know what it was.
There's something crackling in the background. I thought you were holding onto the water bottle.
Oh no.
Oh no. Okay. Yeah, it might be the microphone. I don't know. I thought you were like
it's
crackling.
Quiet now.
I thought you were like doing this with the water bottle.
Oh god.
I thought that's what was going on because I saw him drinking water and I thought he was doing. Now we lost you, Perch.
We lost Perch altogether.
We lost Perch all. There we go.
There he is. He's back. He's back.
No, now we just had him smiling. There we go.
You guys are putting some bad juju on this phone here.
No. I thought you were doing this. I thought you were like holding on to your water bottle, just
I think it's just a connection.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Just making sure, because people will blame it on my.
I'm sitting on pillows right now to avoid making any sound outside of.
Oh, because people will blame it on me typing, because we've had some complaints about me typing, and I was like,
what's that keyboard doing in your lap, Basil? I told you not to type when I'm on.
He's gaming while he's
not doing nothing. I'm not doing nothing.
That's cool, man. So 3 years in, what is the goal though? What's the next? Do you want to eventually? Would you want to do this full time? Would you want to stay in wrestling, or do you want to get into other facets as well? Like a lot of referees, like I use Johnny Bravo as an example because I got to see it firsthand. He was reffing. He became a manager. He does agenting now. He does time, like he's agenting and keeping time and with the production truck and matches. And I was like, wow, it's fascinating because like he's a referee and he like transitioned into like TV character and behind the scenes guy, and it's like, would that interest you too?
Absolutely. Just saying what you mentioned with Johnny Bravo, those are inspirations that of guys who paved the way for something that I'm looking for. Realizing I want to have longevity in this business, and it's a journey. that takes a very long time if you're willing to give it. From what I've learned, and yeah, I'm looking to commit everything I can to the business of professional wrestling, in order to essentially make it a better place once I leave from when I entered it, in any way I can. So in order to do that, I need to learn as much as I can, and take it as a schooling to learn and try and evolve and to take chances, to earn opportunities, to apply what I can. So the avenues of a referee, or a manager or an agent, or I also I do ring announcing, every opportunity I can.
Really?
Just to
No
to
kidding.
continue the
Man of
practice
many
it.
talents over here.
I didn't know you were ringing out. Where are you ring announcing at?
Well, several local independent Wisconsin promotions.
That's
They give me
crazy.
a chance, and I give it everything I got. It, usually the pre-show announcer and main show ref when it works out.
That's I had no idea. I swear to when we're done, I want you to please send me a list all the different promotions you work for and everything. I just want to put it into like the notes so people can. I want these other promotions to get some recognition because, like I said, they're a little under the radar outside of their local area, and it's like, man, people need to check them out because everybody's streaming now. Everybody's on video somewhere, so like, check these out because there's a lot of stars who will eventually come out of these promotions and who are coming out of these promotions. So that's really neat, man. I'd be remiss if I didn't ask him, Basil, who his favorite referee is, though. I got to ask, like, who is your all-time number one? If you had to, like, okay, I'm going to take a referee 101 class with this referee and, a 6-week course of how to just be the man. Who is the number one referee, and how long has it been Nate Speckman? Go ahead.
Nailed it.
Nailed it.
Nailed it.
Who's top guy? Who's the absolute just bee's knees referee for you?
Oh,
By the way, I'm having a non-alcoholic beer in your honor, being that you're from
Jesus
Milwaukee. It's a non-alcoholic beer, a St. Pauli NA. So that's in your honor, Perch.
He likes the taste of beer straight
like
up
the taste
without
of it. I
any
just
of
don't
the
like the
after
alcohol.
effects. So weird.
and it still looks great.
I've never had a sip of alcohol in my life. It's the closest I'm getting is a non-alcoholic beer. But go on. Favorite ref. Yeah, there you go. There we go. All right, so favorite referee. Who we going?
Referee.
All time.
All-time greatest, in my mind, and someone who I love to study from and learn from, and would love a moment to pick his brain, would be Tommy Young.
Tommy Young.
There you go. That's a name.
He is awesome. I kind of see you almost have a similar build as Tommy Young. You kind of have that same style. He's very athletic too. Tommy, before his injury, was that kind of guy. He'd get in there, he'd scale a rope, he'd hop up if he had to get out of the way. I see you doing a lot. I can see the influence 100%. He's fantastic.
Very much so. Tommy Young was one who I went back and researched a lot when it came into to learning the role of a referee, and he's one who I remember from images and pictures and stuff growing up, but to really dissect how he controls what he does, and plays the role. I was able to learn a lot from watching Tommy Young, as well as just being entertained from matches that he's in too. So he's I'm a big Daniel Day-Lewis fan, so if I were to be a character and a character actor, I would be Tommy Young and try to method act.
There we go.
With how nice of a guy you are, I thought you would have said Brad Maddox.
No, but Tommy was Basil. You ever seen clips like Tommy Young would
Jim Crockett, right? Jim Crockett Promotions.
He would literally pull Ric Flair's hair and get him like, get off of my
dude. He was an aggressive ref. He was
kicking guys' hands off of the ropes. Like, oh, he was aggressive. I wait for Perch to get angry. I haven't seen Perch get angry again.
There's one match I really remember him from. If I'm correct, Ric Flair and Terry Funk had an I Quit match, and I believe he was a ref in that, and he had to be very aggressive in that spot.
Yep, that was him.
Dude, he was. I mean, he's a legend, man. Refs play such an important game to it. Like, you have to be noticed and unnoticeable all at the same time. You have to be there for the safety. Like, because of refs, like, I know how to check up on wrestlers. Like, they taught me how to check up on wrestlers because sometimes things, especially at indie shows, get really crazy. So it's just like, because of refs, I know how to check up on wrestlers without making it obvious. So, I mean,
have
you guys are key to making a match flow.
Have you met Tommy at all at any conventions or anything? He started making the convention routes again last couple of years.
I saw that. Not yet, at least. Not yet. But that's certainly on the list of goals of something I want to have an opportunity for one day.
Hopefully he runs a seminar or something.
Alley Club, if it works out or something.
Yeah, he's getting back out there. Like, last couple of years, I think basically Conrad started getting him out there a lot by doing the Tommy Young and all that stuff. Like, he started getting him back out there, and then all of a sudden he's booked at Starcasts and seminars and speaking engagements. I'm like, and he was like shocked by all the like the newfound fame. He was like, wait, what? Like, all these people know who I am now. But I hope you get to do a seminar because I know he's doing them again. And when things open up, I'm sure he's going to be back at it. So that'd be really sweet. Really, really cool.
I would love an opportunity like that, especially for if it were a seminar environment too. Can never get enough of a good seminar, and when it comes to a referee, that's direct info. So that would be like gold.
Have you done any ref seminars with any out kind of ranked referees who have been out there on TV and stuff?
As far as referees go, the closest thing I did to a referee seminar would be at Evolve. A couple times at Logan Square Auditorium with Brandon Toll and the guys at Evolve, and it was great. It was able to get a lot of feedback and a lot of kind of a sense of direction as to again making that natural progression for certain things to look for and to be mindful of. Because I go to as many seminars as I can to learn different aspects of the business from wrestlers who have the experience. So anytime someone can speak directly to the role of a referee and how it's changed their performance, that's pure gold for us referees. So when it comes to a referee seminar, Evolve a couple times.
What would you say is the biggest kind of overlooked aspect of a referee? Like, people, there's the people who just think, oh, they're just counting, right? There's a count. But like, what's probably the most important part of a referee that most people, like average fan, wouldn't even realize? Like, if you had to pick something, like what would that be? Because we know, like, we all, like Basil and I know how important you guys are. Like, you literally are the conductor in the ring of making sure everything goes right. But what will like the average fan not understand? What's the most overlooked aspect of your job?
Well, we all know pro wrestling is it's a live show, and you really only get one shot at everything. That being said, you can have a few things planned to go on, and then no matter what, throughout the course of the match, all hell's going to break loose and something's going to go wrong. And all of us have to be prepared, whether it's a one-on-one match or a two-on-two match. Everybody inside that ring has to be on the same page to know where we're at and where we're going. If there's anything that happens between, let's say, a tag team match, for example, with 4 different guys in a match, there's 4 different possibilities for anything to happen. And if a referee isn't paying attention and deliberately making eye contact with everybody as they would in a fight or a sporting event of any sort, you're not going to know how everyone's feeling or how everyone's doing. By focusing in on everybody individually, you're able to see, is someone in pain, is someone actually hurt. Broken limbs can happen, torn ligaments can happen, and it's not very visible. So I would say keeping aware that everyone is still on the same page at all times is a big role that I try to take and try to facilitate. And more times than not, everything goes well. But there's those times when someone may blow out a knee or blow out an arm or a shoulder, or maybe just doesn't feel all too well.
Right.
Keeping the pulse of everybody inside that ring at all times is kind of something that I try and focus on, keep it in the back of my mind at all times.
Cool. I want to know story. Now we're in the last stretch of the show. We like to keep to an hour. Here's where I want the dirt, Perch. I want to know, what's the worst bump you've taken? I want to know who you've gotten into a verbal altercation with. What wrestlers got hot? Who'd you kind of promo on the back? Like, hey, God damn it, kid, you better learn to work out there. And they're like, you ain't been in the business for 3 years. I said what I said. God damn it, you better learn to work out there. But like, give me a story. Has a fan run in? Have you you see those like Randy Anderson in WCW, like DDTing a fan, front face locking a guy and kicking him while he's down and shit. Has that happened? I mean, Wisconsin's a little nuts, Basil. They like to drink up there. Beer's like a 50 cents in Wisconsin. That's where it comes from. All of it. They get a little wild up there in Wisconsin. Fan incident, anything? Give me the dirt, Perch. This is the last 10 minutes of the show. I want the dirt. Give me the dirt sheet there.
So we got a couple of juicy ones here for you.
Oh, this is good. Sit back. I got the non-alcoholic beer for this. Here we go.
I can show you how some nights you win, some nights you lose. Peaks and valleys. Well, one night as a referee, we had a crazy show. MLW came to town, and that was in
that's the
well, this is a Sammy Callahan one.
That's the Sammy Callahan show.
When he got kicked out for
against Mance Warner was the big main event.
Oh my God.
Jim Cornette was on commentary too at the time.
That's where he spit the beer at Jim Cornette or whatever.
Hell
right?
yeah, that's where his face got spat on. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck Cornette.
Basil don't like Cornette.
Yep. And at one point during the night, and that was a wild night, a great experience. I got to learn a lot. But there was a wild match between the Von Erichs and Filthy Tom against Contra Unit. And throughout the course of the match, it was a wild brawl, just pure chaos happening. They turned the entire Waukesha Expo Center into a riot. It was. Oh my God. One of the coolest things I've ever seen, and scariest things I've ever been involved in.
Really? It was that bad? I heard stories. I never knew it got that bad.
It was all contained from inside the guardrails. However, the vibe and the energy that they had gave the fans a moment that they've been wanting for a long, long time. Harkening back to those days where they would have the Crusher in a cage, and you'd see him get beat up, and you get an old lady climbing the cage to try and
I'm telling you, man, Basil, Wisconsin, I swear, Milwaukee wrestling, the old ladies are legendary. People always know about the one with Hogan, on Nitro, but this was like a regular thing, like your grandma would be there after the fish fry on Friday, right? She'd be at front row at the VFW hall trying to get at the heels.
Nice.
But, it's so true. So true. There's still some of that goes on to this
That's
day.
Great. I gotta start driving. I'm telling you, when things open up, I'm going to Milwaukee Indies from now on. I'm done with Chicago Indies. I'm gonna work my AEW. Any show Perch is on, I'm gonna go watch in Wisconsin.
Perch is a good man.
He's a great. But so you had that. Any other ones?
Yeah. So by the end of that night, I ended up getting put through a table by Thought 2.
Oh my God.
I remember that.
This is on TV though. This made their TV, didn't it?
Yeah, this was on MLW Fusion on the YouTube series. So yep, I ended up getting put through a table. So that was one of those nights where, hey, sometimes you lose. And then if we fast forward to the start of getting wrestling going again in Wisconsin here. This is earlier this year. We had a show going on at ICW, and I happened to be playing the role of the GM at the time.
I never knew he did all this other stuff. This is blowing my mind right now. Unbelievable. Go ahead.
Wild.
This is blowing my mind.
it's a good one where I like to learn. So Dysfunction tries to put me in opportunities where I can learn and grow and learn different avenues for one day I may need it. So I was the GM of this company, and to start it, I come out and bring out a brand new title belt, and the crowd goes nuts and everything's great. And then the couple of heels come out. I think it was Maverick Boone and Ethan Matthews, and some guys, some nasty guys, some
nasty boys,
and they come out and start talking trash, and we decided, okay, well, we're gonna have a Royal Rumble in this night. So the Rumble happens, and the winner of that goes on to face Bruiser for the title, Beer City Bruiser for the title, and one thing leads to another. Shenanigans happen, and the heels end up winning that damn Royal Rumble. And they incited me to come out and say, you know what, I've had enough of this. I'm making my last act of a GM. I'm going to special guest referee this match. So,
look at this. He's a man of many talents. I'm gonna go from GM, introducing this new belt, GMing this show. Now I'm gonna referee this damn match too. And I happen to have my shirt on underneath this suit too. Look at
that. Certainly did.
Nice.
And,
that's awesome.
And the match ends up, they get into a little bit of shenanigans at the end. We get a little outside interference. At this point, I put my foot down, and I hit Maverick with a boot to the gut, a double birds, and I hit him with a stunner. Right.
What the hell?
Look at this guy.
I never.
He's like, I just casually hit a stunner on fucking.
Bruiser gets the pin, wins the championship, and we proceed to bash a whole case of beer right in that ring.
This is unbelievable.
This is wonderful. This is more than I ever expected.
I swear to God, I'm like shocked. I know Perch as a referee. Here he is. He's general manager, running angles, kicking guys and stunning people.
This guy's the nicest dude ever. He's like, I stone cold stunnered this opponent in the ring so this other guy could win. Fuck him.
Bashed him with a case of beer.
Hell yeah. He's like.
And it was light beer too, cause fuck them, you know.
Gotta keep the calories down. Gotta keep the calories down.
Unbelievable.
It was
unbelievable.
So again, the peaks and the valleys. That night was a win.
Beautiful. What a story. Is that on tape? Can I see that somewhere?
I'm sure we've got footage somewhere. I've certainly got the footage.
I'm gonna have you try to find that for me on YouTube or something. I'd love to see that. That's fantastic.
That's awesome.
Very cool. Birds, that's a great one to rep. I love that. So name it off. I want people, where can they find you? Where can they find the shows? What promotions that should they follow? Plug Milwaukee. I want Milwaukee to get over here.
Yeah, guys. You can find myself at PerchXLV, Instagram, Twitter, Dan Perch on Facebook. You can catch promotions all being posted through those social media accounts that I have.
And you're great about that, by the way. You post almost every day. I noticed you post like at least a story. You plug your latest show, a photo from your last show. You tag the wrestlers, because I always get the AEW ones, and I'm like, he's great about it. Every couple days there's a post from Perch to just a match he's in, something. So that's fantastic.
Promotes himself better than most wrestlers.
I'm telling you, it's great. You keep your social media tight, and I love it because, like Basil said, Basil literally takes thousands of photos for wrestlers. It's like here guys, here's a shit ton of media for you.
And I don't make it hard for wrestlers to get these photos.
And they're like, oh, maybe I'll post one, like today. And then, like, you don't hear from them, It's like, okay.
Yeah, you were saying earlier about scrubbing social media. All the social media begins at 2018.
Yeah.
Oh, really? So you weren't on at all before that?
No, I'm very much off the grid. Once my mom got Facebook years ago, I never joined Facebook. It was about 15, 20 years ago.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I try to stay up and yeah, I try to put up pictures and stuff every day, stuff that motivates me and inspires the passion that I've got, and hopefully it may strike a chord or tell a story to someone else to maybe be intrigued. So
plus it's your life, right? I mean, you want to remember, these are your memories too, for when you grow older and you're an old man, you look back and say, yeah, I remember I did all that stuff. It's great to have that.
Oh
So
yeah, yep. And I love keeping pictures and little notes and stuff throughout my life, and especially the wrestling business for just always remembering and
you
always having
should.
a documentation of where things are at, so I can learn from it and continue to go too. But no, I can't tell you how many great memories already we've made, and looking forward to more in the future.
How,
and
how many matches have you ref? Do you keep a count? You have a book?
Yeah, so I keep a book to have on me. If I was at the office, I would have a computer. Therefore, when I'm at a wrestling show, I've got a little black book, as referees do for
Mhm.
just random notes and stuff. Whether I was booking someone in a soccer match or putting it on, I like to keep notes and stuff. So, 2019, I set a goal of wanting to do 300 matches. And I didn't know if that's a lot or a little or what. I'm sure for some it goes both ways. But by the end of the year, I was able to accomplish it. And it took place like my 300th match and 301 and 2 was at that December AAW show. The one
Oh,
with the
nice.
Matthew Justice Killer Cross match, I think, was the 300th that I
Ooh.
had of the year.
Wow.
So it kind of went to show from match number 1 of that year to 300. Kind of setting out goals and the experiences along the way and the
Fantastic.
journey that it takes. So I don't know how many total matches, but certainly a lot.
Over
Nice.
300 at least. That was Windy City Classic. That was a great show. Shit. That was a great one before everything shut. That was one of the last few that we shut down before we shut down things. But there was an announcement made tonight, by the way, for AAW if you guys missed it. So AEW is coming back. They would just check the AEW Twitter, by the way. But no, Perch, that's awesome, man. I am so proud of you. I think you've done an amazing job. You're one of the most likable and lovable people I've ever come across, and I think I can speak for everybody. I don't think anybody can ever muster up a lie about a bad word to say about you. Even like nobody can even like fake it, at this point. So no, it's great, and I'm so happy for your success, man. And I think it's only up from here. As long as you stay in it, you're only going to keep growing. So it's a
That
bright
means a lot.
future. No, that's a
Means a
bright
lot.
future ahead. Basil, get this man some fresh promo picks for 2021.
Yeah, I mean, next Warrior show. I mean, I'm always getting this man promo picks every show that we're on. I mean, that the one that we have up on there, that was from like the last Warrior show or something, I believe, or whatever.
Nice.
That was always
I can't believe, Perch, that when I met you at Turner, you were just like not even a full year in. That's mind blowing to me. That's crazy.
He's got the drive for it, man.
Got the drive, man. Did 300 matches in a year. That's pretty sweet too. Shit, that was pretty cool. Well, Perch, awesome, man. I'm looking forward to just plug for the audio people. Plug the social media one more time.
Yeah, we've got at Perch XLV on
Mhm.
Instagram and Twitter, and Dan Perch on Facebook. And we've got a big ACW show coming up this Friday, and Brew City Wrestling coming up next Saturday.
Nice. What's the
Very
XLV?
nice.
Are you a big Rocky 4 fan? Is that what it is? Or no, that's
Rocky
14.
Ford.
That's 14. That's 14. What's 14? What's the significance of XLV? I want to know about this. WrestleMania
You guys
14.
may not be fond of it, but the last Packers Super Bowl was
Oh, okay.
Oh
very
yeah, the last time they were relevant.
Oh,
Yeah.
shots fired. Okay,
I mean,
Basil.
to be fair, I'm a Bears fan. I mean, we haven't been relevant since '85 in that retrospect.
Perch 1
So.
through 44 was taken. So
Perch 1 through 44 was taken.
Basil, where can people follow you and get all your stuff, man?
You can follow me right here on Twitter and Instagram at BZ. That's a B, 2 E's, 4 Z's, and a Y. Photos will randomly now be found on AEW social media at AEW on Twitter and All Elite Wrestling on Instagram. Watch the stuff so I still have a job. On TNT on Wednesdays. On Tuesdays is Dark, and then starting March 15th will be AEW Dark Elevation. That's with Paul White, aka formerly known as the Big Show. Will be commentary on that with Tony Schiavone.
Yeah.
And where could they find you at, Trent?
Guys, you give me a Trent Zuberi over on Twitter, as well as the Total Nonstop Impact podcast at We Talk Impact on Twitter as well. This show, you can find at the BSB Show on Twitter and Facebook, and then on Instagram at the Backstage Boys Pod. Get us there. All three social medias are very active. We got all the show posts are up there. One that's getting a lot of play right now is our episode with Kevin McElvany, who is the editor-in-chief of PWI. And PWI just had a lot of news last week with their world title declarations for a lot of new, or actually re-establishing world title status in their magazine.
I'm not saying anything, but I'm just saying that we're the first people to bring it up in a proper forum.
That's what I was getting at, for sure.
We brought it up in a proper forum that wasn't aggressive. Ooh, look at that.
That's it.
That.
We brought it up.
Wait, which magazine is that?
Which episode is it? All right, edition.
Very nice.
I've got the other ones upstairs.
Nice.
Dude, they're spread out all over my house now because this is my mom's. It's like
material for me.
It's great. It's great. I love it. I love this new version of PWI. I feel like
Kevin's
this resurgence. I feel like this resurgence with Kevin being at the helm has been fantastic.
Done a great job
because it represents everyone, not just WWE. It used to be so WWE heavy.
Oh yeah.
And now it represents indies. It represents all over the world: Japan, AEW, Impact, ROH. Like everybody's getting a good rub from it. So yeah, it's great to see.
Our interview with Kevin is getting a lot of play lately, so check that out, guys. We actually were the first ones to bring this up with him and talk about it, about the taking away the status and then what it would take to get that status back. And they just did it last week, and you can hear kind of what their reasoning was. So check it out. It's on the Backstage Boys feed anywhere you go: Apple, iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Spotify. YouTube as well as Twitch. Actually, no, that episode should be.
No, it's not on Twitch anymore.
Oh, okay. Well, it's on everything else.
Twitch only holds episodes for like a month or whatever.
Oh, gotcha. But it's on everything else, guys. It's all historic. It's all sitting up there. But so check that out and connect with us as well. ProWrestlingTees.com/Backstage Boys for your t-shirts. You can get that cool one that's next to Basil's face. The comic book t-shirt is available on Pro Wrestling Tees. So go check that out, guys.
This one right here.
That's it. And then twitch.tv/the BSB show. Give us a follow, subscribe. We're building the Twitch up. The Twitch is still we're still within our first roughly a little over 10 episodes on Twitch. So we're still getting the Twitch going here, but definitely give us a follow on Twitch. All the love is appreciated, guys. But that is going to do it for us. We will be back next week.
I will be in Jacksonville. We don't have a guest set up yet. It might just be us, honestly. I don't know if we're going to have a special guest next week. I'm going to try my best.
Tony Khan and join us? Is that what you just said?
Brother.
You're cool like that now, right?
Brother. Chill, homie.
All right. just put the microphone in front of him and be like, Aaron.
Jesus Christ.
TK, come on, bro. Fellow Pakistani brother. Come on, man. Just come on the show.
You're ridiculous.
You know Basil. We'll just do it for him. All right, guys. Thank you all for joining us. Perch, thank you so much. Hang out right here. We're gonna end the show, and we'll come back in a second.
Guys, thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Oh, of course, buddy. Thank you for being on.
I loved your story, Perch. I learned so much about you today. It was great.
It was awesome.
Hang tight there, Perch. We're going to end the show and then we'll come backstage here. But guys, everybody, thanks for joining us. Give us a follow on all the socials and check out the historic episodes. We'll be back next week. If we have a guest, we'll announce with enough time, let you guys know. But until then, have a great week, everybody, and we'll talk to you next week.
Bye.